I think I found my new favorite plugin. As a colorist, a great workflow is a massive aspect of my everyday life. It's arguably one of the most important things in the color grading process. Up until now, my process of color grading has taken, at absolute minimum, 30 minutes per shot, but this plugin brings it down to like 10. Of course, I am talking about the wonderful Dehancer plugin. Dehancer is a film emulation plugin that can almost instantly make your footage look super cinematic. It's available for DaVinci, After Effects, Premiere Pro, Lightroom, Photoshop, Final Cut Pro. It even has a mobile app. What other film emulation plugin has a mobile app? But anyways, I'll shut up now and show y'all. Film emulation basically just takes digital footage and makes it look like it was printed on actual film. And I'm gonna be honest, this plugin does a dang good job of doing that. I'm gonna start out with this node tree right here, which is the recommended tree by Dehancer on their website. This is kind of a standard node tree, so I'll only give a quick walkthrough. First, you're gonna wanna add a noise reduction node, which I have turned off right now to preserve CPU usage. I then added a white balance and a contrast node. I added a node for a mask and then a node for global corrections such as unwanted hues. And then I threw on the Dehancer node. The first thing I'd recommend doing is turning off film grain, because right now it's a little bit powerful, and turn on the clipping indication in the monitor section. This will allow you to see when your highs or lows are clipping. This first section is basically color transform, but it's fun to play around with the different sources. I could use the profile for the camera we use, the Canon M50, but I found I like the plain Rec 2020 looks, softer and just more preferable. Here you can also do all your comping, but we've already done that in the previous nodes, so we can just skip over that. The film developer is sort of like a color corrector. Here you can make slight changes that you feel necessary. Next is probably my favorite part, which is the actual film emulation. Each one of these profiles are so gorgeous when used in the right circumstance, but the best thing I can recommend you to do is just go through all of them and find which one you think is best for your footage. Now there are a lot, but I can tell you it's 100% worth your time. I found that for a shot like this, my favorite profile is the Kodak Vision 3 250D. Currently, Kodak is the only company that still makes color film, and these ones just look incredible. I put a little guide on the screen here for usage, though I'd still say try all of them and see which one you like best. From here, you can adjust this little push-pull knob to your liking. Film compression allows the fine-tuning of highlights towards the mid-tones, and just helps prevent the overexposed look of modern digital film. Overall, it just adds that warm, analog feel to your footage. Here you don't really have to know what each setting does in my opinion, just screw around with the levels until you get something you like. To me it just makes it more fun and creative. The expand section just helps you get the black and white levels you want without jacking up the contrast. You can always come back to this later in the process. The print section allows for the emulation of actually printing film, which I find really cool. Recently, Dehancer released the Kodak Vision 2383 profile. Once again, try out each profile to see what fits best. I found that Kodak 2383 worked best for my footage, and once again added that soft feel I'm going for. The color head section is your color grade, the actual look part of the process. Here you can change the overall hues and tones of the shadows, midtones, and highlights. The gang button allows you to control all of them together. Next is the film grain. Here you can get the film grain emulations of multiple different focal lengths and ISOs, so it gives you a really wide variety of options. Each selection has its own benefits, but for something like this, I would use 65mm with an ISO of 50. Next you have all your effects. Dehancer's halation and bloom are really nice as opposed to simply adding a stock node, as they seem a lot cleaner in my opinion. The film damage, breath, and gate weave are all very specialized effects that wouldn't really fit into a modern film if that's what you're going for, but it all depends on your personal liking. These effects are best if you're trying to emulate an older film. Now if you've seen any of our short films, you'll know we absolutely love vignette, probably a little too much, so I'm really happy someone put this into a full plugin like this. It has the standard vignette controls and mechanics, but it's just nice to get it all into one workflow. I have yet to see something like the monitor window in any other plugin, and I find it extremely convenient. I haven't really used the false color IRE, but the clipping indication is phenomenal for, you guessed it, monitoring clipping. Now get this, Dehancer even has a LUT generator, which I wasn't expecting at all, but I just find it a really cool addition so that you can reuse looks like this. Finally, I'm going to add a sharpen node, turn on my noise reduction, and the look's done. As I've said previously, they also have an app that has essentially all the same features as the plugin. It has tabs for source, film profiles, development, compression, expansion, printing, color correcting, and all of the effects from the plugin. For reference, I would relate it to just a better version of Lightroom. Now, while Dehancer is an affiliate, I wouldn't promote a product that I wouldn't genuinely use. So, with that being said, you can use our code DATUM10 to get 10% off of your purchase of the Dehancer plugin. As a final verdict, I would absolutely buy this plugin. Can you do mostly the same things in DaVinci without it? Yes. But it just makes everything so much easier and quicker. And, as I've said a couple times, just looks nicer. Well, thanks for watching. Peace.